welcome back to the channel. For those who don't know me, my name's Emma. I make jewellery, I buy and sell vintage jewellery and also upcycle broken vintage jewellery, and I do some reselling on eBay as well. So I have just finished all my jobs for the day. I've been doing a bit of sewing this morning and popped out to the shops, and now everything's done. It means I get to talk to you lovely people, which is awesome. I have 2 charity shop hauls to show you, and then a little bit of handmade jewellery that I've done as well. So we'll go through those. So first of all, I've been thinking of things that I can use for the Witchy market that's coming up in October. So I've been thinking about the stall and how I'm going to set that out. I've been buying different props and things. I really want the table to look like a table of curiosities, so people can come and have a bit of a rummage with you know, things at all different heights and levels, and so it's nice and eye-catching really. So yeah, I went to, where did I go? Scope, which is a really big charity shop in Wakefield behind the bus station, and they have just put out all of their Christmas stuff and Halloween stuff. So I thought I'd have a look through the Halloween stuff, see if there was anything there that I could use. And I picked this up, which I thought would be a really nice prop. So it's a little broom, and that was £1.50, which I thought was fantastic. So I might lay that on the table, or I might find a way to kind of prop it up like that, maybe across the table, and then I can hang things from here. So maybe bracelets or necklaces. But yeah, I thought that was quite in keeping with the witchy theme. And then the other thing that I got as well, which was just for decoration, was this tin. Now, if you watched my Thriftmas video, you will have seen that I got some of these tins that were Christmassy ones. And these are Marks and Spencer's, and each year they bring these out and they put biscuits inside, or it's usually biscuits or chocolates. And sometimes they're musical, sometimes they light up. And this is a nice Halloween one with all the windows are kind of cut out. And I believe in the bottom it would have had one of those little tea light candles, but it's been removed. But I could easily put another one in there, that's not a problem. And it's also got a nice loop on the top as well, so you could hang it up. But I thought that was nice and spooky, so that should look nice on the table. And that was only £1. So for table decoration. And I think as well, what I could do is, if it gets towards kind of like the end of the day, I can sell things like this off as well if people are interested. And then I'm not having to lug it all home, which would be great. So that was my spooky things. And then I got this, and it's not really my cup of tea, but it's more of a prop for my own jewellery. So when I do my photographs, I like to have things that I can lean the jewellery against or hang it from. Things that just make the photographs a little bit more interesting than a white background. So I picked this vintage hand. It's a porcelain, and it's got a floral design on the back, which I'm not too fussed about. But I figured I could hang bracelets on there, I could put rings on there, be a really nice thing to photograph. And this is a Marks and Spencer's actually. Yep, from years ago, vintage, made in England. And that was £1. So I didn't think that was bad for a prop. So yeah, I definitely think I could probably get rings on there and maybe hang bracelets and things on there as well. What else did we get? Then I've also been looking, because I thought on the stall I'm going to split it. So there's going to be, half of it will be all of my jewellery, all my handmade jewellery, upcycled vintage jewellery. And then on the other side it'll be vintage items. So vintage jewellery, but also other things that I thought people might be able to use. So I know that a lot of witches like to do a witch's altar that has all different items on there, and they tend to have things like candles and crystals and curiosities. So I've been keeping my eye out for things that I think might fit that kind of a theme. So with candles in mind, I picked up this lovely, there we go, it's a shame there wasn't a pair, but there was only this one. So it's a candle holder, but it's a lovely, it's kind of like a gold leafed metal, and that was only £1. So I thought, that might interest somebody. And you could use it as a candle holder, but you could always use that as a tray as well. You could put things inside it, put your crystals in, you could put your smudge stick in there, ready to use. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm going to take to sell. And then with it being October and it being a bit colder and kind of heading into the winter, I thought I would look for things like hats and scarves and gloves. And this is absolutely beautiful. Look at this. So it's a gorgeous velvet scarf. And then it's got this cutout design on. It's got a floral pattern. And it's double-sided, so it's nice and thick. And it's gorgeous colours, pinks, purples, perfect. And that was £3.50. So I should be able to pop that on the stall and make a little bit of a profit on that one. And then what else did I find? Oh, I got this vintage hat, which is a wool hat, and it's in a lovely green, like a really nice Christmas green, deep dark green. And it's got this nice black trim around the edge. And it is made by Parkhurst, made in Canada. Dry clean only, 100% wool. So I thought that would be really nice. I'll probably give that a hand wash and freshen it up. I kept my eye out for some gloves as well. I was looking for some nice black leather gloves, some brown leather gloves and lacy gloves, but haven't found anything like that yet, but I shall keep my eyes peeled. So that was it for the witchy stuff. The only other thing that I picked up was this, and this was from the Forget Me Not Children's Hospice, and I think it's lovely. Look at that. It's like a giant wine goblet. And it's definitely handmade. It's got a little stamp signature on the bottom there, but it's lovely. And there's many things you could use it for. So you could use it as a plant pot holder. You could put your plant in there and have your plants spilling over the sides. That would look quite nice. You could put a big candle in there. But the thing that I wanted to do with it is I wanted to include it on the table. And again, I can hang things around the edge of it. So I was thinking maybe earrings, because I've got a shorter pot that's going to have earrings on, and then this would just give a little bit more height, so I could have some different ones on there. And that was £4, which I didn't think was bad because it's absolutely huge and there's no damage whatsoever. Very good quality. So yeah, I was quite chuffed with that. I have been making jewellery as well. So I have made some earrings, which I was having a play around with the different beads and things that I had. And gold isn't really a colour that I tend to work with. I prefer silver. However, I want there to be a variety of different things for different people. I love copper as well. I like to work with copper. So these are gold plated. If I hold that up there. So they're kind of like an oval drop shape. And then this stone at the bottom is a lapis lazuli. So it's blue with little tiny flecks of gold in, which is pyrite. And then some little vintage seed beads, and I'm finished off with a little ear wire. So I'm actually quite happy with those, and they sit really nice in the ears. So I think, because I've got quite a few of these beads that came from broken bracelet, I'm going to make a few more pairs of those. And then these ones are made out of brass. So brass is quite, it can be hard to work with because it's a little bit more tougher. The wire itself is a bit more tough than when I work with silver or copper, which is really soft. So it takes a little bit more work to kind of shape it and form it. But I made these. So I just kind of let my imagination go and just did some kind of free-form twisting of the wire to see what shapes I could make. And these were the end result. And then what I've done is, halfway through the process, I've popped a bead on there as well. So that's a gemstone bead. I'm not sure what bead it is. It came from a necklace that was broken. But they're a nice pale green. There we go. It's quite bold, a little bit longer than what I would usually wear, but I'm sure they'll be of interest to somebody. So yeah, I've been playing around with different designs. It's nice to have a go at making something a little bit different to what you usually make. So I've been keeping an eye out for pre-loved jewellery as well that might fit the kind of witchy theme, and anything kind of celestial, so planets, moons, stars, galaxies, that kind of thing, I thought would be really nice. And I picked these up. So these are some nice kind of a dull finished star in silver, and it's got like a dark silver on it. And I spotted these in the specials cabinet and they were £1. And then at the bottom of the specials cabinet, which I nearly missed actually, I'm glad I went round twice, was the matching necklace. There we go. So that should make a really, really nice set. And it's really well made. There's no maker's mark on it, unfortunately, but it's very good quality. And that one was £3, and then the earrings were £1. So I didn't think that was bad. And in the shop, they were displaying their earrings on these. So some old playing cards, and then they've punched a couple of holes in. And then if I just thread this one back on, there we go. And then they put the earrings on them like that. So I thought that was really clever. And they had them all in rows on a stand, so they looked really effective. But yeah, so they were a bargain. And then the other thing that I picked up, and I am once again tempted to keep these for myself, even if it's just for a little while, with these gorgeous brass earrings. Look at those. So again, they're a nice teardrop shape, and they've got an etched pattern on there, which is a flower. And they were £1, which is brilliant. So maybe I might get a little bit of wear out of them, and then I will clean them up and probably sell them on. And that's the good thing about jewellery, is that you can enjoy it yourself for a little while, get a bit of wear out of it, and then just clean it up and sell it on to somebody else who might enjoy it. And that way you're not kind of, you know, collecting loads of jewellery that you're not going to wear all the time. And then I bought this, and not 100% sure why I bought it. I think I was attracted to the fabric. So the fabric is a really gorgeous, oh, it's stunning, blue velvet fabric, and it's gorgeous. And I mean, it was a bargain. It's a dress, and it should originally have been £4.25. However, they had a half price sale on, so if it had a little blue cross on it, it was half price. So £2.12, we'll say. And it's really long. It's got nice short sleeves, a nice little cut-out detail at the front, and it zips up the back. And then it's a really long, so right down to your ankles, dress, which isn't something I would usually wear. However, I would like to have a play around with it. So I'm thinking of maybe getting some of my vintage belts out and maybe wearing some of those, maybe hinching it up and bunching it over the top a little bit, or I might get my sewing machine out and maybe do some alterations. But I thought that might be nice for Christmas. It's a gorgeous, like, midnight blue colour. It's beautiful. So that was the only thing that I got for myself. And then I picked a couple of bits up for resale. So I got these lovely vintage candles. So these are Christmas candles. Nice tapered candles. And I always think candles always come in really handy. I think one of the things I learnt when I was younger was always to have candles in the house, just in case you have a power cut. So we always have loads of candles. I mean, I like them anyway, because I like the scented ones for the living room. But in the kind of like autumn time and the winter time when it's darker, I quite like lighting all my candles up and just kind of sitting by candlelight. But they were only £1, which is fantastic. And they're in their original packaging as well, which is vintage, which is awesome. And then I got a candle which has never been used, so it's still new. Not my cup of tea, but it does smell nice. It is white jasmine. White jasmine, white lily, white musk. It's probably the musk that I don't like. But that was £2, and that's a next candle, so good quality. Burns for 40 hours, and that'll make a really nice present for somebody. So I'll put that to one side for a present. And then these, I don't usually pick up board games or that kind of thing. However, I know vintage board games can sell quite well, and I know that this one in particular is always popular. And we used to have this when we were younger. We used to play this at home. Dad was majorly into his board games, and we would, as a family, play board games together. So this one is Dingbats, and I haven't opened it up, but they've taped it up on the side, so I'm assuming that they've checked everything and everything's there. I can always return it if things are missing or it's not all there. But basically, there we go. If I turn it around, it's got the instructions on the back. But it have these cards, and you've got to try and work out what they mean. So there'll be like some kind of popular phrase or saying or that kind of thing. And then they also had a Dingbats accessory pack. So this has got 576 new dingbats to add. So you can add these in. And these were £2 each, so £4 for the whole lot. And then what I'll probably do is either sell them separate or sell them as a bundle altogether. The game itself usually goes for around £15. I haven't seen the accessory pack, so I'm not sure whether that's going to be worth selling separate or just bundling it up all as one thing and maybe put it on for maybe 20. But I just need to check that everything's there first, and then that will go on the eBay store and see if we can get that shifted. It's probably a good time actually to put board games on with Christmas coming up and the winter months and people being stuck indoors and that kind of thing. Yeah, and that was everything. So just 2 little hauls. I went to the Scope yesterday, popped out in the afternoon, just for an hour, just to have a good nosy round. I'll put a little bit of footage on of the Christmas stuff that they put out because they made a really nice display and I did a little bit of filming. No jewellery, actually. I didn't pick any jewellery up in there. They usually have a really, really good wall of jewellery where everything's hung up. But it was really, really bare, and the things that were still there were things that had been there for a really long time. So, yeah, I think they either need to think about dropping the price on those because they were the individually priced items. But yeah, so no jewellery, but never mind. Got plenty of other things, which is really good. And yeah, then this morning I had to go to Sainsbury's, had to go pick a few bits of food bits up, and yeah, upstairs above Sainsbury's in Trinity Walk there is the Forget Me Not Hospice on one side, and then directly opposite is the Community Foundation, so I had a look in there. Didn't get anything from the Community Foundation this time. They had lots of, they had a basket of cookie cutters. I had to say that slowly then or else I won't be able to get it out. And I do keep an eye out for those because as part of Thriftmas I do like to make biscuits and chocolates and sweets and things for Christmas presents. So if you buy them new, they can be quite expensive, and particularly if you just want one particular design, you end up having to buy like a packet with all different ones in that, you know, maybe you don't want and you won't use. Whereas if you get them from the charity shop, you can just pick the one that you want. So they had a big basket full of cookie cutters, and there wasn't anything in there that I fancied, but I think I've got 2 from last year and some little ones that I bought earlier this year that I'm going to make use of. I'm thinking of doing shortbread biscuits and maybe dipping them in dark chocolate. I thought that would be nice. And then I'm going to I did coconut ice one year and that went down really, really well. I did a big tray of it and then cut it into slices and put it in jars with some ribbon round, and that looked really good. So yeah, I think I might do that again as well. Thing that I can show you, I managed to finish it today. So I bought, you might have seen it in one of my other videos, bought a tablecloth from Age UK for £2. Really, really big rectangular tablecloth and vintage fabric in lovely autumn colours, so brown, orange, yellow. And I love this fabric, you don't have to iron it, which is awesome. And I decided that I was going to turn it into a top. So the top that I've worn for most of the summer, which I really enjoyed wearing, very, very comfortable. I'm just going to turn it the right way around so I can show you. And this was a charity shop find. This was from Doncaster. And it was only £1. So there we go. So it's really nice, kind of blue, short sleeve, square neck, oversized top. Quite like things baggy, so I can wear a vest top underneath. And this is how it's turned out. I have discovered that sleeves are not my forte. So I need to do some work on doing the pattern for the sleeves. I think I got it wrong, so it bunched up a little bit under the arms, but the neckline's quite nice, so that turned out okay. And did short sleeves. It's a slightly thicker fabric as well, so it does look slightly different on. There we go. However, it fits really nice. There we go. So in fact, let's see if I can pop it on and then I might be able to show you. Pop it on over me top. There we go. So yeah, not bad. I think I should have brought it in a little bit here on the shoulders, and then the sleeves would have sit a little bit better. But in terms of length and size that way, I'm really happy. And the length of the sleeves is really nice. I just, yeah, should just have brought these up a tad, and then it would have kind of sat better on the shoulders. So yeah, always learning. But I was happy, I was really happy. I'm definitely going to wear it. I don't like to waste anything, so I will definitely make use of it. And I'm thinking of, I've just ordered myself some embroidery threads. So on the front, I'm thinking of embroidering something, maybe either round the neckline or just have something here as a feature. So maybe, I don't know, because it's quite autumny colours, maybe like a pumpkin or something like that, or an autumn leaf. That might look quite nice. Yeah, I shall have to have a think about that. But it's nice and warm. It's quite a nice material. So for £2, that wasn't a bad upcycle. So as always, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, and then you'll get notifications every time that a video comes out. I tend to post, or I'm trying to post, twice a week. And if I don't post a long form video twice a week, it'll be once and then a couple of shorts videos. It's an opportunity for me to show you things really quickly. So it might be some earrings that I've made, or it might be something that I've transformed or upcycled, something that I've cleaned. People quite like the jewellery cleaning videos. So yeah, keep an eye out for those, and thank you very much, and I shall see you on the next one.